League, and you'll know we're top of the league. We're top of the league. We're top of the league, and you'll know. Tell all the Huns you know that we're top of the league, and you'll know we're top of the league. We're top of the league. We're top of the league, and you'll know. Yes, come on, you boys in green. Get it up, yous. Sevcore are in some kind of odyssey where they think that they have won the title. Yes, Rangers fans have won the league again. Fly the flag, fly the flag. The black flags they gladly wave. Yes, Celtic today are hanging out the black flags. We surrendered to Ibrox, yes. We've lost the league on the 2nd of January. Have we fuck? Get a grip. It was one game, we were off it. There's lots to take positives from today. And to all the Huns that have been on the video chatting, I'm not even going to go through your comments. But you know, if you know, you know. We do not do walking away. We do not do walking away. We might have been at the pub a tad longer than needed to be, but we don't do walking away. You know, we do not do... Yes, we don't do walking away. We might do... we'll stay at the pub for a little bit longer. It's New Year. It's Spain. Nothing happens on time. Mañana. Anyway, that's right, Huns, fuck off. They won't be able to talk now because I have put on the... You must be subscribed for at least 20 minutes before they can talk and understand that there may be a few of them loitering about, but you know what? I can give it out and I can take it. Morning! We beat Celtic. Baz, can I have some of your drinking? James Duffin, it's just a few beers. And do you know what? They beat us, right? It's no big deal. It is no big deal. We're at the beginning of January. We were utter pish baz. Every rock has been turned. The swamp has been emptied. Jimmy Bell's came out of retirement. Gerrard's got the strip on. Where's the stream? Oh, fuck them. Anyway, when you look at it, Celtic were beaten fair and square today. Let's take the positives. Let's take the positive. As Celtic fans, I'm on the Jameson. Fair and square today. We're beat fair and square today, right? And there was a lot of players didn't turn up. But let's take the positives. Positive 1. Greg Taylor must never play for Celtic again. Positive 2. We found out the limitations of Liam Scales under pressure. Big time. His passing was woeful. Positive 3, we need a defensive midfield player to allow Callum McGregor to play further forward on the left-hand side of the pitch. Callum McGregor is always a left-sided midfielder. He was a left-sided attacker. He's not a holding midfield player. When he was man-marked out the game today, we have to take the positives for that. And we need a more experienced holding midfield player that allows Callum to perform to his optimum position. Rio Hatate did fine. Paulo Bernardo was found wanting. Paulo Bernardo's legs was gone in the first half. I thought Paulo Bernardo should have been taken off quicker. Don't even get me talking about Greg Taylor. He is a player that was going through the motions today because he's on the transfer list. And Taylor went through the motions. Alex Baye, when he came on in the second half, did more in that position than Greg Taylor did for 50 odd minutes. Greg Taylor was a player that was going through the motions today. I understand why Brendan Rodgers played him in that position, but I think Brendan Rodgers played a blinder today when it comes to the board of Celtic. And I'm going to tell you why. And don't get me, James Duffin, I've been fucking talking about Hatate for weeks, and I've been told to wished about Hatate. Hatate turns up and plays for 15-20 minutes of a game, and Brendan Rodgers played a blinder today. If you're going to throw a game, right? We didn't throw the game. We should have been able to perform better. We didn't. This result isn't a shock result. It's not a shock result. For anybody that said this was a shock result, Baz, does it take 2 milkshakes to get you drunk? John Shirley. Honest to God, I could take enough nonsense for that lot, but I'm just not taking it for our own. When you look at it, right, we weren't good enough today. There were certain players that shouldn't have been on the pitch, and I can take the nonsense. I can take it. I give it out on a weekly basis, and I give it out to that lot. But when you look at the way that we played today, Brendan Rodgers played a blinder. Brendan Rodgers made a point to the people upstairs that we do not have the squad depth that we think that we have. We do not have the squad depth, although we've been able at times to make some fantastic substitutions in games. The depth of our squad, quality-wise, is not there. Look, we had Lewis Palmer on the bench. Lewis Palmer is a player that's going to be sold in the next week or two. And that's not a good situation to be in. You know, he's not good enough to be at Celtic, but he's on the bench. That tells you everything that we need to know. We still need a defensive holding midfield player to allow Callum McGregor to move up to the left-hand side of the midfield where he plays his optimum position. We need someone to come in for Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor should never play for Celtic again. Not after that first half performance. He didn't even... He's thinking, I can't get in... And we had this conversation in the pub. Greg Taylor is thinking, there's 72 players, think about this, right? There's 72 players in the English Premier League. The English Premier League. 72 players that are currently out of contract and can speak to any club. Greg Taylor is vying for at least 30% of the positions that he could possibly go for, right? It's all going to come down to wages and it's going to come down to experience, and Greg Taylor knows that he has to get the transfer in this window, because if he's left at the end of the summer with no club, and there's 72 players in England having been released with no club to go to, Greg Taylor's going to find himself way down the pecking order. And that's why I think that Greg Taylor didn't perform today, because he knows that he is one step away. He will be out the door of Celtic in the next week or two. But as the most alarming thing about the game was we had nothing to offer, and that's frightening. I said, if you look back the videos, I said that people are getting a bit too ahead of themselves, like the Dortmund game. And we know that they had a lot of players out injured, but I never buy this nonsense that... And you can look back the videos. I said this is the game that we need to be wary of, and as for the confidence that we had, is the same kind of confidence that we had going into the Dortmund game. There's loads of positives to take to him. There's no positives to take from today. Andy boy, there is. Greg Taylor wasn't the worst today. Not great, but not the worst. Exactly. But my ball is the player that's out of contract. And Alex Bailly done way more when he came on. I'll tell you one thing that Brendan Rodgers done wrong. We spoke about this in the pub. Callum McGregor's getting man-marked, right? I wish I could have it. Callum McGregor's sitting in the midfield, the holding midfield position. He's getting man-marked out of the game. Dijsselmeijer is on one side, Koen's on the other side. They're doubling up on the wingers because they know that everything goes down the wingers and Callum McGregor. So Callum McGregor's getting man-marked. When you look at the previous game, when everybody said we played absolutely fantastic, fast-attacking football, Callum McGregor wasn't in the equation. The manager should have went, let's take Callum out of the equation. Because their midfield player that's then man-marking Callum McGregor doesn't know who's meant to be marking, right? The ball was... Callum McGregor was sitting in the position he wasn't getting the further forwards. They were nullifying us. Brendan Rodgers made a few mistakes today. He will know that. But the squad, ultimately, that played today, were taking too many touches. How many times did Cameron Carter-Vickers give the ball to Greg to Scales? Because Greg Taylor wasn't in that midfield position where Callum McGregor allows Callum McGregor to go further forward. Greg Taylor is sitting out on the left-hand side and he's not going forward at all. So Scales is turning round and went, where's Greg? He's right next to me. He's not further up the pitch. So then Scales turns around and passes the ball back to back to Cameron Carter-Vickers. That was the issue today, and there was too many. I've spoke about it before. Celtic perform at their best when it's one touch pass. There was too many people today took far too many touches of the ball, and that ultimately was the problem, right? There's far too many. I'm not fucking buying this pish. They're not all of a sudden world beaters, right? They are not world beaters. They can wave the wee flag, right? They can wave their wee flag saying, we won against Celtic, whoopie friggin' do. Let's look at the league table. We're way in front of them. We are going to spend in excess of 20 million in this transfer window. I think Brendan Rodgers knows the players that he wants, and he knows the players to make us better. We all know the players that are going to leave Celtic. What would you rather lose? Would you rather lose this game today, or would you rather lose meeting them in the semi-final with the Scottish Cup? Ask yourself that. All we've done today, and I'm going to get it up on the screen, because all we have done today is not let a copper up, is this. Is this. Okay. All we've done today is we've managed to keep Phil in a job. Yes, we decide when the Rangers manager gets sacked. We have kept Big Phil in a job. That should be applauded by Celtic. Because even the Rangers fans said, oh no man, if we beat them today, we'll drop points against Hibs, we'll drop points against that. And all Celtic have done today is keep Big Phil in a job. Yes, we've kept Lord Voldemort in a job, and I don't care. It's New Year. I've said before, it's going to be very hard, and it is very hard for a team to go invincible. We thought we had a squad that could potentially do it, but there was a big caveat within that but, and it was players that were out of contract and also players that may be leaving Celtic in the summer. I am not overly worried about that result today. The performance, they were better on the day. If we scored one of the chances that we had in the first 3 minutes of the game, it's a completely different game. I'm not going to get carried away with the narrative that, you know, it was a fucking league game. We're at the half point way this season, right? We're at the half point way this season. And this is what I love. Because when we look at the SBFL table, we'll always get the table up. And they've maybe thinking, yeah, we've fucking done this, we've done that. I can't even get the SBFL table. Let's get the SBFL table up. Yes, we're still on 50 points. Still on 50 points. Still on 50 points. We decide, Celtic fans, we decide, right? They're on 39 points. All they've done is bought themselves a bit of space between themselves and Aberdeen. That's all they've done. I take it Aberdeen lost again. Oh God, Aberdeen are woeful, aren't they? But we are still on 50 points. And look at the goal difference. Look at the goal difference. Celtic 52 goals to Rangers 34. Losing one game is not the be-all and end-all. It's, it's one game. Have we really become, as a support, as a fan base, have we really become that entitled that we think that we're going to win every game? I think that today's game was the perfect kick up the arse at the right time. We've got the transfer window that has just opened. We need a left back. We need a centre mid. We need 2 wingers. We need a striker. That's 5 players that we could potentially bring in this window. We've just sold a player for £5 million. Put it into the perspective, Celtic fans. We have just sold a player that hasn't played for Celtic for the best part of 2 years. We have just sold him on the 1st of January for £5 million. They have not got £5 million to spend on a player. Let's put it into perspective. We're about to sell Greg Taylor for £3 million. We're about to sell fucking Louis Palmer, right? Stephen Welsh has went out on loan. We're going to bring players in. Calm the heck down. Ida is done. We spoke about this in the pub also. Ida's not a first choice. I've spoke about this on the channel. I've spoke about the need for a third and a fourth striker. I want Celtic to get back to the position where we had Larsson, Sutton and Larsson, right? We had three strikers that were pushing for one or two positions. We played 3-5-2 under Martin O'Neill. So you always knew that if one striker wasn't playing at his optimum, he was going to get dropped, right? We don't have that. If Adam Ida's on the bench, he knows he's going to come on in the 60th minute, 70th minute, 80th minute. He knows. There's nobody else there. There's no one there to say, like, Adam, I'm better than you this week. I've been better than you in training. I'm going to take your position. We don't have that. When Kyogo has an off day, he knows that Adam Ida's going to take his place. That's not competition. We need 4 decent strikers at Celtic. We need to have that competition. And that's why I've said, the young boy that's coming back from Ireland is not going to put pressure on Kyogo. He's not going to put pressure on Adam Ida. Kids for Garden, well, there's a different kettle of fish. You bring in Kids for Garden, they're a striker of similar quality, and all of a sudden Kyogo's going, wait a minute, I'm not an automatic first choice. Adam Ida's going, fuck, I'm not automatic to be on the bench if Kyogo starts. If there's only 2 strikers up for shouts, do you know what I mean? I've now got competition. We've no competition for places when it comes to strikers. None whatsoever. Brendan Rodgers knows that. We're about to get rid of Louis Palmer on the wing. Louis Palmer was on the bench today. There was not a chance in hell that Louis Palmer was going to get a start today. Louis Palmer's washing Scottish football. He might be an absolute South American god when it comes to playing for Honduras, but he doesn't do it. It's like the whole the Bernardo's not the Bernardo, fuck it. Cheer up, lads. We have Clement staying. It's great. Exactly. Phil Sorrow, we have kept Clement in a job. Let's just get that again. We have kept Big Phil in a job, and we should be proud of that. It's a time of giving. And it's a time for thinking for those who do not have what we have. Celtic have a grand history of football. We have a grand history of winning. We've got over 20 years of domination in Scottish football, and we've managed to save a Rangers manager's job for another day. Yes, Brendan Rodgers has seen many managers come and go over the years. He's seen many come and many go. Many great pretenders have came into the Scottish game trying to denounce and dethrone Brendan Rodgers. But Big Phil came in from Belgium. Big Phil came in for Belgium and he said that I'm going to make Rangers great again. And all that he's done is he's made Rangers great again. And they've won a trophy. Yes, they have. They've won a trophy. They've won the We Beat Celtic Once in a Season trophy. And for that, fair play. Because there's not many teams that can beat Celtic over the course of the season. Not even once. But never mind. Let's look at the league table. And as they may laugh and as they may think that they have won over us today, remember, Celtic fans, we are on 50 points. They are on 39. We have 45 of a goal difference. It would be the complete meltdown of all meltdowns if Celtic weren't to win the league. People say to me today in the pub, but what about the Scottish Cup? We will win the Scottish Cup. We will win the treble. Brendan Rodgers has kept Big Phil in a job for another day. Am I worried? Am I heck? Am I enjoying life? Right, we have. We should sign Crisp Garden, Baz. We should sign Crisp Garden. Crisp Garden? Oh, Jesus. I'm surprised to see you here, says Caroline. Coffee. Not a chance. Have a drink for once. They win once a year. Exactly. Game and Celtic says we've played them twice. 3-0 each. Yeah, exactly. We won 3-0, they won 3-0. There's not often that happens in a league season. They won it once, we won it once. I reckon the next game will be a draw, and then the final game will be a Celtic win. Celtic will win this league, right? Celtic will win the league. Do not worry about it. The game today has given Brendan Rodgers and the backroom staff a lot of food for thought. It has showed up people in positions where we thought that we were good, and it showed the players that should never be near Celtic. Anyway, I'm going back to the pub. I hope Engels is okay after nearly losing his eye. I will talk about all that tomorrow, because I actually missed the whole Nico Kuhn getting an elbow to the face situation because I went home to get the missus at half time. Every Doug has his day. Make no mistakes, Rangers are a wee Doug of a club. They are that. The gap is Rangers can't beat lesser side, but on their day there's not much difference. Game and Celt, I'm not buying that. Celtic were woeful today. Celtic and Brendan Rodgers, and I blame if you're going to blame anyone, right, blame Brendan Rodgers for the mindset of today. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Brendan Rodgers went in today talking about a siege mentality, right? A siege mentality says to me that they were going to try and play the game similar to the way that they played in Atalanta. They were going to try and soak up the pressure and hit on the break. This Rangers team are playing for their lives. They're playing for their manager. They're playing to stop getting a manager sacked. All that we did today is we saved Big Phil. We made sure that Big Phil kept his job. We decide, yes, Rangers fans, to you Rangers fans listening, we decide when Rangers managers get sacked. We decide when you win. Just keep that there. Keep that in mind. We decide everything, right? The fact that Celtic weren't at their best today doesn't really matter, because when you look at the league table, we're still there. We're still the top dogs. And on that note, I will be back tomorrow morning with a live. There's absolutely no meltdown from this. There should be a bonus, to be fair. Brendan should be asked why Engels came on with 5 minutes so disappointing. I agree, Baz, it's a dead rubber. I agree, Mr. Clement is a dead rubber, and yep, he should be sacked, but who cares? They're on their death ground and we won. Exactly, Chill, no excuses, upward and onwards. Like I always said, we can't win all the time, but that's them thinking they're back in contention. The Rangers are back again. Yeah, don't you forget it, you Timmy Mallet, Fenian master, yeah. You know we're back. And no, you're no back. Do you know what? Celtic will spend, and I still think that Celtic will spend in the best part of 20 million this window. And when we spend 20 million in this window, we'll go on and we'll win the league, and we'll win the Scottish Cup, and we'll win the treble. No one will talk about this game at the end of the season come May. Me, for one, I'm not disappointed. Against Atalanta, we were lucky. It was an off day, for fuck's sake. Yep. Oh, there's an order being in Printful. There we go. The Rangers are coming. Oh no, I'm shitting myself. I need to go to the toilet. Damn. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, all the Celtic fans all around the world. There has been over... See, the good thing is, right, is there's currently, right now, when I'm online, there's people buying Celtic merchandise. That tells me everything that I need to know. And there's 3 trophies in our cabinet. Baz, Phil can enjoy that we beat the Celtic trophy, but he's not visited Paradise. We've got all 3 in the cabinet, exactly. There's been over 1,500 people on this live, which I am so thankful for. Apologies for turning up late, but I was at the pub, and I'm about to go back to the pub. Yes, we still celebrate. We don't do walking away. We don't do fucking smashing up boozers either. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic evening. I will be back with some Celtic news tomorrow morning, where I may or may not analyse the game a bit more, but I probably will talk about transfer speculation, and I'll talk about players that need to leave the club, and we'll talk about players that should leave the club. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans. Wherever you are, all around the world. Get it right up, you dirty old.
Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to